Well, today's edition of Stunt Hanger is my 15 minutes or so working on my Thunderbolt. But I thought that I would go ahead and give a little plug for Rogério Floretti. He is the man who has sent this timer to us that will be given away the 15th of next month. Now this is a little different than I've seen before, but that doesn't mean anything. It's let me get a close up of that. And it comes with instructions. And it doesn't seem to need a programming box like the FM9 does. So that'll be interesting. I'd like to know how that works out for the person who gets it. Please post your results. And please, don't enter this drawing unless you're going to use it. You know, we want to see the results. Anyway, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to glass the nose of this. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is strip the parts off, because we don't want these parts to stick together. Now this will get glassed as well, because I've learned from doing some other airplanes that door tends to warp. Well, we don't want any warpage on ours, so we're going to have to glass it. And now I'm stuck with no ball driver. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Notice I got my pilot and cockpit sitting on there. It's just taped on. It's not really on there. He's not even glued in. If you've been following along on this project, you should have a Thunderbolt in about the same state as mine. We're going to be glassing the cowl as well, because these are areas that take quite a bit of abuse. Now, I'm not sure that it's really necessary that I have to glass the outside of this, but I want to for aesthetics. I'll take this cowl off. And pilot's drunk inside there. What I use is Z-epoxy. The reason why I'm doing this first is basically all time management. I'm going to have to clean this shop up too. It's probably going to need a day's worth of work just to clean the shop up. Hopefully, yeah, this is still good. Got an odd color to it, so I just do this by eye. I suppose you could measure it. For the guys who were looking for my hinges, I did get a bag of hinges in. I'm not going to bush them, but if you're interested in having some, I will sell these, the blanks. These are the 5-ply routed hinge pins, but you're going to need to bush them yourself. Mix this up real good, and we're going to seal up the inside of the nose around the motor mount area too. Just paint it on. There's not really much of a mystery to any of this stuff I'm doing here. It's self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. Take your time, do a nice job, etc. I did sand this with 320 and got it all, pretty much smooth and ready to go. But here again, that doesn't much matter because the fiberglass is going to fill those cracks, and we're going to sand again. If this adds a little weight, it doesn't much matter because it's on the nose. I'm going to paint the inside of the door as well to harden up that edge. I was going to use 64th ply on it. There's really not a need for it. I got a pretty nice line there. I'm going to do the inside because we want the inside finished as nice as the outside, at least this hole here, the opening. I was thinking of selling this because I just was thinking of selling this, so if you're interested, make me an offer. But don't be cheap, boys, because it won't be cheap. If you ever watched Bob Hunt's tape on Bill Werwage building an I-beam wing, Billy says in one spot, "And sit back and enjoy the action." Yeah, about as exciting as paint drying. Okay, let's turn her over, get the bottom. Basically, the only reason why you want to do these areas is that they take a lot of abuse. They're handled. This is where you handle the airplane. A lot of guys don't do this, and that's fine. Okay, now we got to put the glass cloth on it. a spot I missed. We're going to come back and we're going to take all that off, all that material off. So it doesn't matter that it's on quite thick or whatever. You know, I think I want to come all the way back. This. The hobby shop didn't have any paint brushes, believe it or not. So they ordered me some. Oh, that's not good. Beard in the epoxy, not good. You want to do a real good job on fiberglass, it takes 2 coats. Alright, so we have it all painted. Now it's time to add some cloth. This is 3/4 ounce. Half ounce would work just fine, but all I happen to have is 3/4. So I'm going to have to cut a piece here. I guess we'll cut it off the end. Oh, here we go. Cut it off this end. Sorry I have to do this off camera. I just don't have the room, as you can see here. So I'll cut it off in. Try to get it laid down evenly, nice, no wrinkles. I'm having a problem with that. People say, oh, you make it look so easy. Well, it ain't. I think it's more for me perseverance, knowing what I want, stick-to-itiveness. I got too much junk in here. Too much junk. This will take 2 coats. We'll have to wait for this coat to dry and then come back with a second and then sand it. Right here, this is the area that I wanted to make sure was glass so that it doesn't crack or break. Because this is an untried method, you know, for me anyway. We have a front mount side loader and no doublers. It's just the only thing that's holding the motor in is this 1-inch ring in front here, the 1-inch piece of balsa wood. But I really don't see a problem with it. But I didn't engineer it or pi times radius square it or draw it out or think it to death. I just did it. So we'll see how it works. Basically, the methods that I use are 50-year-old, maybe longer than that, woodworking techniques. I'll guarantee steaming is probably, we know, hundreds of years old. There might be centuries, thousands of years old. Don't know. Now, I usually have a problem with the bottom. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to eliminate some of the issues that I normally have and just force it down, and then on the second coat we'll get her, because these compound curves around the nose ring here are very difficult to get the wrinkles out. So they're going to have to be sanded and then recoated. So it might take another piece of glass even. Well, I can't work on my paint jobs today because the hobby shop didn't have any paint brushes. So the only other alternative is to work on the Classic Continental. I'll be doing a video today on that, but it's basically boring. It's part cutting. We'll get this, I wanted to get this drying, that's first thing. You'll notice I'm carting it off and wiping the excess epoxy off. What that does is it gives you a smooth and the lightest finish possible. I used to do, and I might do that again. We might do the whole fuselage in this, seeing as if they don't have paint brushes for me. Matter of fact, I will do that. We're going to finish this fuselage in Z-epoxy. It's fast, it's light, and it's easy. I'll show you how I do that. We have to get this nose done first, so we won't be doing that on this reel, but we will be finishing, and I have to get the cockpit area done. We will finish this in Z-epoxy. That's something I used to do in the 90s, and it works very well. We'll go ahead and Z-epoxy this door up here. Forceps anywhere. Oh well. So I'm going to stop the camera. There's no need to talk and watch this stuff dry, because that's basically all that's going on. Is it's going to have to dry about 2 hours, and you can start working with it. Takes 24 to fully cure, but in about 2 hours we can cut off the excess and kind of rough it up and then put a second coat on it. Just remember, I have so much money and so much time in this, there's not really a need to rush it. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching, being a member of the Stunt Hanger channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the channel, help us grow. We're actually growing faster than I anticipated after the 500 mark. It looks like we're getting about between 25 and 30 members per week joining. That's a good thing. Hit 1,000, we get some free stuff maybe to give away. Couple giveaways going on Stunt Hanger. It's a Stunt Hanger birthday giveaway for the Agilero and the timer giveaway for March. And then at the end of March, we'll be giving away a Boxcar Chief. So go to www.stunthanger.com. And I'd like to say that when you register, use your real first and last name. However, it could take 24 hours for me to approve your username. I'm the only guy doing it, and it's all done by hand. It's not automated. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I haven't seen it on the forum yet. I will get to it. Usually takes no longer than 24 hours. Please be patient. And check your email, because you'll get an email notification that you've been approved. I get asked, well, why wasn't I approved? Well, you didn't look at your email, because you got to go in and click the link and come on. That's for spammers, because there's a lot of jokers on the internet that I think all they got better to do is to harass people. And they like to troll, and they like spam and make things difficult, and I just don't put up with it. So when you go to Stunt Hanger and register and you're not approved instantaneously, check back in a few hours and you will be. I mean, the only reason that I don't approve you is that you're using like some kind of real first and last name like Richard Cranium or C. Alice or some nonsense like that. It better be your real first and last name with an email address that's not Viagra.com. I just don't put up with it, guys. I sell no email addresses. I could make a lot of money on Stunt Hanger if I wanted to do all the dirty tricks they're all doing. But this is not a money-making proposition. It's for the love of building and to try to pass on some of the craftsmanship that will be lost and we make nothing in this country. So everything's made in China. And that's why it's important to preserve, to me, preserve our values of the builder of the model instead of the buyer of the model. And that's just my belief. If you believe something else, well, that's great. I just don't want to hear it. So anyway, we're going to sign off. Till I see you again. Fair winds. Tight lines. See ya.